Hello, strangelings. Welcome back to the parlor. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've been noting a few of the people I watch that have been trying to understand what's going on in society, have been noting. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't have any mutuals to point you to. But it is a problem that I've seen a lot of people in the area of psychology talking about, and as a problem. That would be the Madonna or whore issue. It's not a new issue. It's an issue we've had, well, since the dawn of time. Not all females want to fit into the rigid and extremely suffocating constraints a good girl in society has to do to stay afloat. Some of us would like to be allowed to climb trees when we want, and yes, that is something that girls are not supposed to be allowed to do. I hate to tell you, because even in the 80s, I got comments like, oh, she's going to have to give that up someday, or else she's probably going to end up getting in a lot of trouble with the guys. This particular person was trying to say that basically I'd end up getting pregnant from being a tomboy. And I know that because my mother probed the question a little further. So, society has been trying for eons. And I talked about where it began in another video not too long ago. But for eons, they have been trying to wrap us up into two definable categories, two easily definable categories. Those categories are obviously the Madonna, the sainted virgin, the doubtful and nurturing mother. Crazy enough, the Madonna had a virgin birth, and where, yes, now that our population is gigantic on this planet, there is a decent clutch of women who can give virgin birth. They're still not the Madonna, though. But to be the Madonna, you have to be saintly, practically. Even worse, usually the person who wants you to be their Madonna is such the opposite that usually you go through hell just to hold on to him. And if you're not the Madonna, the only other thing you could be is a whore. Someone for a good time. It doesn't matter if I have a Madonna at home. You're out here at the bar having a few drinks. You might be dressed a little bit scandalously. You must be the whore, which means you're here for my good time. And I know there's going to be people who think I'm being overdramatic with that. I wish I was. I know what both positions for us girls look like. Being kept as the Madonna was so overwhelmingly lonely that I had to step away from the entire situation just to ensure that my child would still have two living parents by the time he reached 15. And that might seem overdramatic, but for those people who do know me, you know it's not. For those people who know me, they know how deep my suicidal ideation unfortunately is. And if you put postpartum depression severe, first time postpartum depression, and you mash it in with a severe depression already, let alone PTSD and a self-loathing so unhealthy that I was never supposed to be alone for more than a few hours at a time. Facts, by the way. Then you might understand how not dramatic I'm actually being. How so much more detail could make this even more dramatic. And to be honest with you, that's not a lie. Did you guys know that already? Today's video is not only to tell you what the Madonna and the whore is for a woman, but it's also to tell you why you shouldn't be either. You see, neither position give for the woman to be a human being at all. To feel something angers you about, say, I don't know, your child's behavior as a Madonna? How dare you be so unsaintly as to assume a child could even have an agenda past just innocence, let alone to even get to a point where you could observe for other people that, in fact, psychological majors say that children can even be abusive, not just to each other, but severely abusive to adults. How could you get upset because the child won't eat? How could you tell that child, well, they'll just have to wait until they're hungry enough to eat it because we don't have enough money to give you the food you want? To be a Madonna, how could you do that? You're supposed to be selfless as a Madonna. You were supposed to be willing to so much as give your only son if needed be, because you're the Madonna. So too should your husband be leery of even wanting to touch you, because after all, how can he touch something so holy with his unclean hands? Better to go to a whore to get his desires met than to soil his sweet, dear Madonna. And I wish that that wasn't an actual problem that has been noted in the psychological books about males having the Madonna or whore mindset. Versely, if you're the whore, they get enraged when you tell them, no, you can't have my number. No, I'm not going to a hotel with you. No, I care about your wife enough to say I don't want you, since you've told me you have one. It's also part of the reason why so many of us women don't find out they have wives. So, of course, as much as being the whore might seem fun because you get to go out, nightclubs and dance and drink and all this, as the whore, you're not expected to want anyone to ever want you in a monogamous relationship. You're expected to want to play around. You're expected, if you have children, because of some one-night stand, that was supposed to be just fun. That's your issue to take care of. And God forbid you not be willing to take just a little bit of whatever he's trying to pay you, whether it's cash, whether it's a meal, whether it's a drink, as if any of that stuff is enough to have access to the body. Well, if you don't give that access, you better be willing to deal with a man who may be okay with taking your own very life because of it, children or not. Again, I know by experience, not because I put myself in that position, but because I have been considered in that position by men. Neither one of these positions actually gives any breathing space for a fact that the woman in question is not the same as the woman next door at all. We are all different creatures, just like men. None of it gives any consideration for the possibility that that woman might have any ambitions to do anything in life, even if it is just to go see, I don't know, Mount St. Helens. Just once. Never. Both take the position that a woman's ambition is actually somehow a toxin to her, as opposed to a boon. Because the only ambition a woman should have is to please a man and or have a baby. Unfortunately, we are not NPCs just because we were born with a uterus. And if we were, then every man also born with a uterus is also an NPC, right? Because there's a lot of men who are also born with uteruses, even if they're just pre or proto-uteruses. Though my Aunt Ed's uterus was only months from being functional when he was born. Months from being functional as in, if he would have cooked in for another month or two, he would have been born with a fully functional uterus and penis. And he would have been a they. No, I'm here to encourage all of my fellow women out there. Abandon this two-tier system of, well, I can't even call it romance, because both are treated so egregiously that there is no love in either direction. Sure, they love the whore for her fun, and they love the Madonna for her steadiness and her ability to make them feel like they're good people, even when they're obviously acting badly, because, let me tell you right now, if you agreed to a monogamous relationship with the Madonna and you're out with the whore because Madonnas are for the stability and the whores are for the fun, you didn't deserve the Madonna in the first place. Instead, ladies, we need to take inspiration from what all is happening. And even if you are like me and not really sure that you want to engage in the 4B movement because you actually don't mind some males, it's time to own your own power. What power do you have? The same power as every other human being, every other creature alive on this planet. To be the most you can be. To be your own person. To hear the call of your destiny and follow it. To achieve whatever you feel you should be achieving, whether it's for you or for your community. And do not, under any circumstances, let anyone tell you anymore who you get to be. All right, guys. I think that's enough for this one. I'm going to get out of here. And by the way, this advice isn't just for women. You men can take it too. Drop the idea that you have the right to label other people. Drop the idea that people have the right to label you. And be yourself. Work towards the things you feel are healthy for you and or your community. It's the only way to live genuinely. It's the only way to have a real life. Don't forget, guys. Doesn't matter who you are. I love you. Take care of each other. And I'll see you guys in the next video.